Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have here in front of me a desk full of my #1 makeup products in every category. Now I want to give credit for this video to Andrea here on YouTube. I will link her video down below. I saw that she did this recently and I thought, you know, I love these videos and it's been a while since I've done one, and I have a lot of things that have changed in my makeup routine more recently. A lot of new favorites that I've discovered. So this is kind of a current #1 favorite in every makeup category. You guys will be shocked at how many of these are drugstore. The majority of them. I have like 2 things I think that are not drugstore. So go drugstore. That's always exciting. I'm gonna have a lot of high-end favorites, but I love when the drugstore can beat them out. So we will get into it all today. Before we do that though, if you are new here, I want to give you a special welcome. Please consider subscribing to my channel and make sure that your notifications are turned on. With that said, I'm sure I have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Okay, so we're gonna start with the primer category. Now, I'm gonna limit myself to 1 primer, but I'm gonna give you guys a kind of runner-up because I have been using 2 primers a lot lately. But if I had to pick one, it would be this one, which is probably not going to be a surprise to you guys. The Wet n Wild Clingy Primer. I'm so obsessed with this primer. I've been using it every day, basically since I tried it. And if you saw the video where I tried this out, you might have noticed that this wasn't an instant love for me. It took me a minute to get used to this. It is very thick. It is very initially sticky, but once it soaks into your skin, it just wears so well underneath any foundation. It actually adds the tiniest bit of hydration. I wouldn't actually call it a hydrating primer. In fact, if you have dry skin, I would recommend adding a layer of moisturizer or just making sure that your skin is well moisturized underneath this. But I love what this does for my skin. My foundations wear so well on top of this. I definitely think it makes them look better longer, and I just can't stop using it. It's my favorite thing currently. But I did want to give this a runner-up. So this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I actually like the e.l.f. version of this a little bit better, but I have shade number 2 in both of these, and the Flawless Filter from Charlotte is just a little bit lighter. So I actually like using just a tiny bit of this right on the top of my cheekbones, kind of right up here on my forehead and down the center of my nose. Before I go in with my foundation, it just gives me that like little added glow that is so beautiful. I still love this. It's still definitely in the contending for that #1 spot overall, but if I had to give it to one more recently, it would definitely be the Wet n Wild. Okay, so let's move on to foundation. This one was also tricky. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on my runner-up, but we're gonna go with kind of a tried and true, and that is my Maybelline Superstay. If there's ever a situation where I am like maybe going on a date, or maybe I have like a special event or like thing to go to, this is the foundation that I reach for every time. It is so good. Honestly, I don't know that anything out there can quite top this one. There's a lot of foundations out there that I love. I'm actually not that picky with foundations as long as I get the shade match right, but this one is my very favorite. Very good, I would say high medium coverage. It has this beautiful subtle sheen to it, but it's not like greasy and glowy in the way that something that's a little more dewy or like slippery would be. It definitely wears really well. It just has this luminosity to it that's very subtle, very beautiful. It doesn't emphasize texture too much, but just makes your skin look a little bit more healthy. But I'm gonna mention to you guys a runner-up more recently, and that's my Mise en Snelle Repair BB Cream. This is getting harder to find now. In fact, I did notice the last time I saw this on Yes Style, the packaging has changed, so I don't know if that means the formula has changed. I'll have to get a new one of these soon, which I'm gonna be needing one because I'm getting pretty close. Feels like I just opened this thing. There was a time this was my #1 favorite foundation. It's still way up there. As far as BB creams and CC creams go, I would say this is still in my top contending. By the way, this is number 27, which is a great shade match for me right now. Fantastic coverage. It wears really well on me. It has good skincare ingredients, and the SPF 50 is an added bonus, especially as we roll into summer. Okay, concealer. So this one is a more current favorite. So I don't know that I would say like long-standing wise if this is gonna still be in my #1, say in 6 months, but I have been using this concealer almost every day for the last at least 2 months, maybe 3, and it is the Relove concealer. You can get this at Walmart. They are $5 a piece. You don't get a lot of product inside these. I did recently rant about these. I think it might have been my recent favorites video. I have been talking a lot about these more recently because I have seriously been using them every day. I mean, I have my little concealer drawer right here. It's got my Revlon, it's got my Natasha Denona in here, it's got my Cali Ray Physicians Formula 1, my Pretty Fresh from ColourPop. And I do try to force myself to use those, but honestly, most days when I'm just in a hurry, which has really been my thing lately. It's the end of the school year, I'm always in a hurry these days, and I don't want to think too much about the shade or how it's gonna wear. This is the one that I've been reaching for, and I'm so happy with it. It works so well for me. Really good high medium coverage, it wears great. everywhere. It covers my hyperpigmentation marks on the perimeter of my face. It works good as an eyelid primer for me. It looks nice under the eyes. You don't need very much, which is always, that is like for me the number one thing with a good concealer. I need something where I'm not gonna have to use a ton of product, because if I have to use a lot, it's gonna settle into every fine line. And this is just one of those you don't need very much, which I love. And the price is not too shabby, even though you don't get a lot of product. Okay, let's talk about bronzer. Now this one, these are both pretty new to me, but I can't stop using them. Lately, they're really the only bronzers that I've been using. And one is a cream, one is a powder. I'm gonna explain why I'm mentioning both of them today. First off, if I had to pick a cream, and you guys know I love a good cream bronzer, I'm gonna go with the Butter Glow and Go stick from Physicians Formula. I do not like the price of this thing, especially considering I don't even really use the blush very much, especially these days, but the bronzer, I don't know. I like this almost as much as I like their cream diamond bronzer, which has been a favorite of mine for over a year now. It's so good. The color is great. It blends and goes on so quickly for a cream. I just love it so much. Sadly, I think I'm gonna run out of this thing very quickly, and it was not cheap. This thing was $15 even at Walmart and Target, but I have a backup, and this one I might like even more, particularly for my life lately, which has been, I don't have a lot of time to do my makeup, and so a powder bronzer is kind of the fastest way to go. And this Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in Sunset Striptease is just perfection. It is the best bronzer. Now, it's not super pigmented. I actually kind of like that about it, but there's a reason that I went through this one. The last time I owned this, I hit pan on it pretty quickly. You don't get a ton of product in here. In fact, I think it's probably pretty standard. I'll have to look it up. I took the sticker off at the bottom that tells you how much product you get. I hate when they do that. Anyways, I imagine I'm gonna run out of this thing very fast again because I have been using it so much lately, but it's just the perfect shade. If you have a light medium skin tone, it's so, so good. It's nice and blendable. It goes on instantly. I mean, you basically can tap this on in like 3 little taps and you're done. As long as you have a good, large, fluffy brush, this thing will go on so quickly. It looks amazing. It wears amazing, and the price is great. I think you can get this for under $5, which is such a good deal. As for blush, I've kind of been in the same mode lately where a powder blush is just quicker for me. As much as I love my cream blushes, and you know I love the hydration that a good cream blush gives, these Buttermelt blushes, actually not these, this particular Buttermelt blush, I am obsessed with. Now, I also love my House Labs blushes. Longer standing wise, those would probably be my number one. This is a more current favorite, but I picked this one over the House Labs ones because I think it's a good dupe. I just did a dupe video on these side by side, and they perform almost exactly the same as far as the color and the pigmentation. They're so good. They're very pigmented. I keep saying they. I'm like talking about this and the House one simultaneously. And by the way, I did want to mention, this is the shade that I'm talking about specifically. It's called For the Butter. It looks quite dark and it is very pigmented. You want to use a light hand. In fact, I would recommend if you're using like a larger blush brush, really any blush brush, I would tap it in and then kind of like tap off the excess, or even dab a little bit of the excess off either on the back of your hand or on a clean rag, and then go onto your cheeks. That's what I did today. I am wearing this along with all of these products, by the way, except for my lip, which I'll mention to you guys at the end. But it's so quick. It gives you this nice, beautiful color that looks like bold but natural at the same time. This shade right here, I actually don't like this shade very much. The formula is great, but this shade in particular, which is Getting Butta, by the way, I hate that they use the word Butta, like B-U-T-T-A, in all of the names, because I hate saying that on camera. Every time I'm editing these videos where I talk about the NYX bronzers or highlighters or blushes and I have to say Butta, I hate it. Butter. Anyways, so this one looks lighter, like it might be like a fun Barbie pink, but this one has like a, let me just swatch both of these on the back of my hand. It has like a fluorescence to it. This is just a little much. This one, on the other hand, is a little more of like a softer, more of like a natural kind of berry tone. Here it is right here. So when you kind of blend it out or put it on lightly, it just kind of like looks more natural, whereas this one just looks very, it's bold. If you like that type of a thing in a blush, I'm sure you'll love the formula. I'm just not wild about the color of that one, but For the Butter, number 6 is amazing. And speaking of NYX and that Buttermelt line, my number one highlighter currently is the Buttermelt highlighter in the shade Bright and Butta. There we go again. I must really love them if I'm willing to say that name on camera. That drives me so crazy. This is such a good highlighter. Now, if you like your highlighters more natural, I actually would not recommend this one because it's one of my more intense highlighters that I own. but I love it. It's so pretty, and it does not emphasize texture in the way that a lot of more intense highlighters do that maybe have a little bit more glitter in them. This one's not glittery, it's just super out there. I mean, you're really gonna see this thing on your face. So if you like something more natural, might I recommend the Essence Pure Nude or the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance highlighter that I love so much, or I even have one from Melt Cosmetics that I've been loving, but this has been my favorite and my most used for the last couple months since I tried it out. Let's talk about my current brow favorites. So these are both new, but I am so happy with these, both the price and just how my brows have been looking lately, that I wanted to mention them both. First off, the LA Colors, actually these are both from LA Colors. So the LA Colors Browy Wowie Slim Brow Pencil. This one is in the shade medium brown. And then the Browy Wowie Laminating Effect Brow Gel. I mentioned both of these in my recent dupes video. And honestly, the more I've been using this and my Benefit side by side, the more I realize I like this almost just as much as I like my Benefit. I do think the Benefit is just the tiniest bit stiffer in like the perfect way. I mean, that it really is amazing, but you can't beat the price of this one. This one is, I think, $1.98. I think both of these are $1.98. They might be $2.98. Actually, they are. I think they're both $2.98. But man, you guys, for $3, getting a really nice brow gel, and this gel is so nice. It dries very fast, so I basically will rub it in both of my brows once I've filled them in, and then just brush them through until they're set, and I get the perfect, nicely shaped, upright, but not too crunchy. They don't look too soft or too laminated. They're just right. They look natural and set, and they don't move, and it's super quick as well, and above all, $3 a piece. I mean, you cannot beat that. But I did also want to mention my brow styling soap. Honestly, I think all brow soaps are about the same. But the reason I talk about this one all the time is the Sacco, you can get it on Amazon, is the shape of the tin. I like the more square shape versus the ones that come in the round pots. Those ones are a little bit awkward when you're working with a spoolie because you can't get like the edges of them. You're gonna have like a weird sections as you wear it down that aren't gonna get used. And this one's just much more user-friendly when you're working with a spoolie. So basically, if you're not familiar with these or haven't tried these yet or want to try them because they're so cheap, you'll just get any spoolie, dampen your spoolie with a little bit of water, and then rub the damp spoolie in here to get some of the product softened and on your brush, and then brush it through your brows until your brows start to dry, and they will be set all day long. By the way, if you start to wear down one side, you can pop out the little soap. You can see this side has a big divot in it, and just turn it over and start over on the other side. And this thing is only, I think, $3.99 on Amazon. So definitely an all-time favorite for me. I had to mention my Wet n Wild. I mean, any of these videos, I could probably just not mention this because this is just, will always and forever be on these types of videos because I use this thing literally every day. I know a lot of YouTubers, including myself, say that a lot, like, oh, I've been using this thing every day. And then the next month they're using something else, which is true because we do try out a lot of makeup. And so the things that we love just are constantly shifting and changing. There's a lot of good makeup out there. But this is one of the things that I honestly use every single day that I'm doing my makeup. Unless I'm forcing myself to do use a gel or do something different, this is just my staple. I don't need to explain very much about this. You all know if you've been watching me for a little bit how much I love this thing. It's been on my channel for 7 years since I started on day one, and it will forever be with me until the day I die. All right, mascara. This one was probably the easiest one of all, and it is the e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara. So many mascaras that I love, but this thing is outshining them all lately. This checks all of my boxes. It goes on very quickly. It's kind of a drier formula, so if you've just curled your eyelashes, it is going to hold that curl so well, but it's not clumpy. It gives you length and volume and separation. It wears really well, even when my eyes are extremely watery, but it removes easily at the end of the day as long as my water is warm. I just think this mascara is perfection. I honestly don't think there could be anything better about this. It's just the fastest mascara I think I've ever put on. You know how some mascaras you have to be very careful, or you have to comb them out 5 times before you add a second coat. This one you can just one coat it, and you don't have to comb them out because the brush does a good job of keeping things separated, but because it dries so fast, you're not left with a big mess. You can run out the door and you're just good to go. I love it so much. Okay, let's talk about eyeshadows. I'm sure you guys were curious what I was going to pick as my #1 eyeshadow right now, and I'm gonna go with the drugstore, and it is the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette. I just think this is so perfect. So this palette, which I am wearing on my eyes today, I can't imagine there would be anyone out there that wouldn't like this. I guess that's maybe a bad way to phrase things. I'm sure I'll offend someone that doesn't like this palette because there's always going to be someone. But I think if there ever was a palette that I would imagine more people would enjoy, it's for the warm and the cool tone gals. It's really for anybody. It's gonna look good on any skin tone. It's a palette like this, but I wanted to show you guys one that I just discovered. I'm like, okay, actually, that looks an awful lot like the I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona, and it absolutely is. Now, obviously, you're gonna get a ton more variety in colors and finishes in this one, but as far as just like the basic undertones and like the basics that you get in here, like if you were to take this palette and condense it to 9 shades, you would get the Going Coconuts palette. And I'm pretty excited about that because you guys know of my absolute undying love for the I Need a Nude palette. It is perfectly done. And this palette is just like the smaller and cheaper version of that. So if you maybe have felt a little bit of resentment over not being able to pick this one up because it's just so ridiculously expensive, and I know there are some of you out there that are like that, that just can't do the $69. Like either because of budget or because of principle, you just can't do the $69 for an eyeshadow palette, and I totally understand that. Well, let this one be your consolation prize because it's every bit as good in just a condensed form. It's fantastic. And the last thing I have to mention for you guys is a setting spray. I'm back on the setting spray train. I kind of got off of using setting sprays for honestly about a year, and then I started using them again, and now I'm kind of addicted to them again. And so the one that I would give the #1 prize to would have to be my e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. Now this thing I've only had since, I think I tried this out the end of the year in 2024, and I have been using it a lot, but I mean, that's a lot of setting spray for someone that like doesn't use setting spray every single day, although I have been a lot lately. I think the reason I use this one so much is because it's such a fine mist. I probably spray this one like 9 or 10 times, which normally I'm very, like if I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, I have a system. It is 1 and 2. That's it. I'm only giving myself 2 sprays of that very expensive thing, but this one is just so fine, and because it's so affordable, I don't know, I just kind of like overdoing it. And that's why I'm like almost out of it. But I wanted to share one thing with you guys. Now this technically is not my #1 because I haven't had it for very long, but it's definitely a contender, and that is the Pretty Smart priming and setting spray that I recently tried. I've only had this for about 2 or 3 weeks now. But I've been using this one a lot more than this one right here. The sprayer's not quite as misty and good, but it's still really nice. And I don't know, I think I might even like this one better. Let's just overdo it on the setting spray today. And it smells so, so good. So I don't know. We'll see. Give it a little bit more time. This might overtake my Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray from e.l.f., but for now, we'll go with the e.l.f. And last up is lips. Now, it is not the lip combination that I'm wearing on my lips today. Sadly, this liquid lipstick is discontinued. This is from Flower Beauty. This is Melon Pop. I think this is discontinued. If I can find it on the Flower Beauty website, I will link it for you guys down below. One of my favorite colors for spring and summer. But for my current favorites, oh, this was so tricky. So for lip liner, I'm gonna have to go with the LA Colors lip liners. I know these are brand new, and I wanna give a little caveat here because I haven't actually sharpened these yet. And they look very plasticky, so I'm very curious at how well these are going to sharpen. If they sharpen badly, I'll give you guys an update on that in the future. So just be aware, there's a possibility that I might have issues with these once I have to start sharpening them, which is going to be very soon because I've been taking these with me everywhere. I have 3 of them. If you can find these in your drugstore, pick them up. They are $1.98 a piece, and they are probably one of the most long-wearing lip liners I've ever found from the drugstore. Honestly, these things will not go anywhere. My 2 favorite shades are Rosé All Day, which is a really good nude, and then this one, which I am wearing underneath this liquid lipstick today, which is just like it's about this color. You could probably get this from this lip liner. Maybe it's a little bit more pink than what I'm wearing right now. This is the color Melon. So stunning. They wear so well, and they are so cheap. $1.98 for a long wearing lip liner. I mean, you just can't find that anywhere. But I also had to mention this one. This one's actually pretty easy. The Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Balm from ColourPop. I am obsessed with this. Now, I do want to say the So Juicy. Both of these I had to go fish out of my purse because they both come with me and I use them off and on, almost interchangeably, although they're not exactly the same. They're very similar to each other. Even the colors are somewhat similar. This one's just a little bit more of like a candy apple sheer red, whereas this one is more of like a mauve, has a mauve pink tone to it. This one, by the way, is in the shade Dolled Up, so it's a little bit more cool tone, and then this is Cherry. Love them both, but this would be my pick. By the way, it is a almost perfect dupe for the Summer Fridays lip balm in cherry, which is amazing. As far as how much product you're getting in both of these, let's just have a look really quick. So in the glossy lip balm, there are 0.49 ounces and the Summer Fridays has 0.5. So basically the same amount. Honestly, I'd recommend them both, but if you can save the money, go for the ColourPop. It's every bit as good. And that, my friends, is everything. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on any of these products. Now, again, these are kind of my current number ones. These things shuffle quite often as I try new things out. So this is kind of like over the last like 3 or 4 months, what I'm really obsessed with and what I think is going to persist into the upcoming months unless I try something groundbreaking, in which case I will let you guys know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts. What is your current number one product overall? Like if you have one thing that you have just been blown away by lately, let me know what that is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys are doing well. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that before you leave, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye. Category. I hope I didn't miss anything. Oh, I did. I did miss something. I missed lips. Okay. I knew I was going to do that because I left my lip products up in my purse.